Welcome to Uncomfortable Truth Podcast. I'm with my special guest, Big Sarge. How you doing, sir?
Hey, how you doing?
Good, good. Can't complain. Can you tell the audience a little about yourself?
Uh, first, Big Sarge comes from after a 30-year military career. Um, Big Sarge is coming down to the business side of relationships where we created this podcast, or let's just say this group where we can discuss almost realities of men and women to make sure that we're still able to get together. The emotional, the social constructs, literally making sure that somewhere where you hit the business side of relationships, that we're not just trying to take the emotions and the feelings out of it, but to let you know that to manage it for the long term, for the longevity of a successful relationship, that it's going to take work, compromise, discipline, commitment.
Okay. What part of the military you was in?
I was in the army,
Okay.
active duty army.
Oh, so you've seen a lot of
Yeah, day
action.
in, day out.
Uh,
Yes.
get PTSD because of it?
Yes. Um, So I don't know if you know other people that were in the military. So it's like different types of PTSD. But if you just want to sum it all up, it's PTSD. That's almost like a broad summary of it, of
Mhm.
the different mental issues and stuff that comes from being in the military. But yes,
Would you like to educate the audience on PTSD?
uh, not much that I could educate them on, but just that it is something real that we're losing a service member. I think that it was coming down to like almost 20 service members or 20 veterans a day that we're losing to suicide in the military. So I don't know the specific numbers on it, or I don't even know what the demographics are, but I do know that there's this big push to let service members know not to feel ashamed for feeling it, come and seek help. And if you're a service member out there and you were in the military before, go seek help for it. It's real. You don't have to deal with it alone.
Uh, I do know a couple of people with PTSD and they can't deal with sounds like hard backfiring and loud noises. I can't. I always wanted to ask them, but I never felt comfortable to ask them. So I'm gonna ask you, like,
Yeah.
all like movies bad too? When somebody have
Uh,
PTSD?
yeah, I won't say that the movies are bad, but when you say sound, the sound is crazy. Literally last night I was just telling somebody, I said, I really don't like the sound of a fan in my car. I would much rather freeze or be hot before I turn that fan up high.
Mm,
So sounds, when I went to my first PTSD support group meeting, that's when, like you just now said, that a lot of service members suffers from those different sounds.
mm.
As far as the movies, when I see most military movies, I'm normally proud. I'm proud to know that I served. I'm proud to know that I did my part. And sometimes when I see him, I do understand and see that the struggle is real. I'm glad of everything that I made it through, and it's a good feeling.
Okay, I'm glad you made it through.
Thank you so much.
Can you briefly
Did you
describe
serve?
that? I said again?
I said, did you serve?
No,
No.
no.
Okay.
I do got family in the military, Navy, and I think the Air Force. Um,
Okay.
I actually distanced myself from my family, so I'm not really in touch with them as in the past couple of years. So I don't really know too much about them like that no more.
Okay. You
So,
did that on purpose, or?
yes, I felt that they was hindering my growth. So I
Oh,
cut my
I
family off
understand.
and only socialize with my immediate family, mother, father, brother, sister, grandmother.
Got it.
I don't deal with uncles no more. I don't deal with cousins no more. I do speak to my great aunts though.
Oh, got you. So I heard you say mother. You're what part of the world you're in?
I'm in the United States. I'm in New York.
New York. Okay. All right. Yes, I'm in Baltimore.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I know that up north, that's the way we say mother and father.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Baltimore. You from where
Yeah,
the Wire was filmed or based
exactly.
on. Can you briefly describe the ABC formula for successful relationships and how it helped bring people closer together?
The ABC formula of successful relationships. Um, so when I first started the podcast, I was really coming down to making sure that people knew and understood that relationships take work. So my daughter, I heard my daughter, she was in her early 20s, and she was talking about that the most difficult problem that she thinks she was going to have with a significant other would be infidelity. And when I heard that, I was like baby girl, it's so much more that goes on in a relationship. There's so much more that's going to happen coming off the rip than just infidelity. So when by the time I heard her say that, I was thinking like, what do you think you saw your mother and I going through all of these years? That it's a lot more to it, and that it takes work and that it takes discipline.
Yes, I never had problem with infidelity in my past relationships, but we did argue a lot. Basically, but many minor things. Like my last relationship, she was pansexual, so a lot of our arguments dealt around the community, and she
Okay.
felt I was insensitive, so it just fell apart, But I still love her to this day, though.
Yeah, exactly. Um, so see how you said that you love your ex. When you go into your next relationship, do you think that's going to pose a problem for your next queen to know that you have this type of feeling or bond with your past queen?
No, I feel like I would be able to do better because I know where I made mistakes at with that relationship. So my next relationship, I'm going to try to not do the same mistakes. Like for example, I was very insensitive, so I spoke my mind. I didn't care how she felt. So I speak my mind. Now I should never did that. I should at least consider her feelings. And certain times you don't have to say nothing at all. She says something, okay, okay, babe, I understand. Yes, it don't have to become an argument. I'm not saying agree to disagree, but this you don't have to always voice your opinion on a situation. And I realized that after she was gone.
Wow. So when I'm curious. Um, when by the time y'all realized what was wrong, y'all were unable to fix it.
I tried fixing it, but she was so distant after that. So when I tried to fix it, I tried taking her on dates like every week or every other week. I tried, like I said, I didn't speak on the community no more. I left that. We didn't have no conversations about that. We talked about our growth, her business, her new career. I talked about the company I started, the stuff I was going through with the company and stuff, positive things and the bad things. We spent time with my kids. My kids loved her, so we spent time with my kids a lot together. But she was just still distant. Like for example, her birthday was January 2nd, and
Okay.
she had about 3, 4 parties that her friends do for her. I never was invited to none of these parties, and I've been trying
Hmm.
to link up with her for a couple weeks, prior to her birthday. I even still got gifts right up hanging on my door right here for her that she never picked up, and and when I basically I didn't call her out on it, but I basically brought it up like I got these gifts for you, like you didn't like contact me. I'm like before she asked for space, not just for me, from everybody. But in December, she wrote that thank you everybody for giving me space. I'm ready to so socializing again. So I thought that was my time for me and her to start bonding again too, because for the whole 2023, we was going on dates every 2 weeks or every week until towards the end, like November and December and October, something a little bit in October. And she like this to herself. So when her birthday came, I'm like, okay, I got these gifts for you. I do remember it's your birthday, but I didn't want to intrude on her because, like I said before, she said she wanted space, even though she said she was ready to get back out there with everybody. I still wanted to give her that space and let her come to me instead of me, force myself upon her. And
Yeah.
and the conversation just went bad. She called me some names, and I'm like, this hurts. So I'm just gonna leave you alone because I don't want to feel hurt, and I don't want to badmouth you or argue with you. So I haven't contacted her since that last text during the week of her birthday.
Wow. What does pardon my ignorance, what does pansexual mean?
Okay, pansexual is a orientation generally defined by romantic or sexual attraction to people of any sex or gender identity. For example, a pansexual person could be open to someone who is male, female, transgender, intersex, or genderqueer.
Oh, got it. Okay. All right then. So I guess they wouldn't call she wouldn't call herself bisexual because you're now adding transsexuals in there or
Yes,
transgender.
yes, because it's pansexual.
Okay.
Everybody, she open to date anybody, no matter what their sex is. But bisexual is only two, man.
Yeah, got you. Understood. And I noticed your show and you'll ask questions and is it okay for me to ask you questions?
No, definitely.
Okay, so what would it have been some insecurities on your part? Because I'm thinking if I were um dating or seeing a woman that had attraction to anyone or anything, basically, I would almost feel like I would probably wouldn't be able to satiate her in the long run because she has needs and requirements that I could never fulfill.
No, it wasn't no insecurities. Towards the end, like I said, during her birth, week of her birthday, she had four parties, 3, 4 parties that she never invited me to. I see pictures, I see the dresses she wore, the outfit she wore, I see the people she was around. So that I could say that was maybe insecure a little bit. No, not I wouldn't say jealous or nothing, but a little insecure because I figure she wanted to spend time with me. Like I love her, I wanted to marry her. That's one of my last messages to her. Like I wanted to marry you, and like so I'm just gonna let you be. Just remember, I wanted to marry you. During the relationship, no, because like I said, a lot of arguments was during the community. So for example, one of the questions she asked me, I got cousins that's in the community. So she asked me if we have kids, will I let my cousins watch my kids? I told her no. And that
Mhm.
upset her because her brother is part of the community. So she's like,
Oh,
if you want to let your cousin watch our kids, I mean, you want to let my brother watch our kids. I didn't know her brother was part of the community. She never even told me that. I found out that later on because we was hanging out at a bar and I glimpsed at his phone and he was basically on Grinder, basically, community dating that. So and I seen what he liked. So that one made me realize, okay, he's part of the community. He was also married too, but his wife was sick. She died of the sea, the big sea.
oh, got you.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I guess he was in
Yeah.
the closet.
So how old is your brother?
My brother, no, her brother. I don't know how old her brother was.
What was he, older or younger?
I don't know. I never really
I
asked
mean,
that.
under age 40 or over
No,
age 40?
they definitely in the 30s or 40s. Yes, he definitely was in his 30s
Wow.
or 40s. Uh,
Yeah, my daughter, she died at the age of 28. She had lupus,
uh,
and
Sorry to hear
her
that.
husband, she was married to her husband from age 22. I mean, and this young man, uh, uh, uh Namarco, I could say his name, he wouldn't mind. Um, I mean, he did a great job at loving a woman with a critical illness such as that.
Hmm.
So I was wondering how did he do when she got diagnosed with it? I mean, what was it terminal when she first got the word or what?
I'm not sure about that, but he's very hands-on. Like for example, there's days like when she was alive, he wouldn't go too far. So the boss was even blocks away from his house and stuff like that. He never strayed too far because he wanted to be close by to his wife. So does that answer your question?
Wow, man, that's strong. I love hearing stories like that. Sad that what happened happened, but I'm pretty sure the next queen that gets him knows she has a man with a strong backbone in him
Yes,
because that's a lot to deal with.
yes. I seen he was maybe in pain. Probably a couple of days after she passed, he came to the bar, social club we had. That's where I met her at.
Yeah.
So it's only members only. And he came there and like you could see on his face that he still was so sad. He was grieving. Everybody supported him, showed love to him. And I think that's the last time I see him too. Okay. In your experience, what are the most common challenges individuals face when trying to improve their relationships?
Um, what are the common issues that couples have when they're trying to improve their relationships?
Yes, sir.
I think the biggest issue that they have is that they don't take into account that there's still two individuals.
Mm,
So once you realize that you're two individuals and you accept it and you're constantly working on bettering yourself, and then by the time you better yourself, he or she better him or herself, then that's how you become a stronger couple. So a lot of people think quote unquote love will save the day, and it's nothing wrong with believing that, but at the end of the day, it's going to take discipline and commitment. It's going to take work on each other, constant work on each other, but I hear so many people, particularly like I said, my daughter and her friends, that they're young 20 somethings females, um, women, and as well as two of their boyfriends at the time, and that they didn't take into account that this takes work. Relationships take work, love take work. And the crazy part about love is that love isn't what makes love work. Work is what makes love work. So when by the time the people realize that, I'm sure you heard the common cliche, love would have brought you home, love will do
mm,
this. Oh, if a
mm,
man loves a woman, he'll do that. If a woman loves a man, she'll do that. No. At the end of the day, you shouldn't need love to know what is right. So when by the time the two people have what they want, what they're expecting from each other, yeah, you don't need love to know that um, um, she doesn't like me being out to 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. It doesn't take love for me to realize that she doesn't want me working 70, 80 hours a week. So we're compromising. I say, okay, I'm going to work 65, whatever it is. But at the end of the day, you it won't be love that's going to make me say I'm only going to work 9 to 5 and hurry up home so that I can spend time with her, or even in this day and age, vice versa.
mm.
You know, communication. So when by the time people talk and they're comfortable talking with each other. So that's why when I saw your name, Uncomfortable Truths, I was like, man, this is a beautiful title, excuse me, because at the end of the day, it's those uncomfortable conversations that couples need to have, and that's for betterment of couples.
Yes, I realized that the title goes with everything. Like I could interview somebody that's do fitness and it would lead to uncomfortable truth because some people may have problems with their weight or something. I could interview a therapist and they could talk about past traumas they had. So I realized it always leads into a conversation, no matter what genre or who I'm talking to. It always leads into something uncomfortable to someone.
Okay,
Mm.
gotcha.
Let me see. How does focusing on mental and spiritual growth contribute to overall success of relationships?
Mental and spiritual growth. Beautiful question. Um, First thing to mental growth, I'm gonna go ahead and just add that um, into like spiritual growth as
Mm-hmm.
well. Uh, it's first of all knowing that we have to grow, knowing that we have to learn, knowing that we have to remain consistent. So when by the time that we don't know how to train our minds to do certain things, that's when I believe people start failing. So it's just like yesterday at the gym. Yesterday at the gym, I started doing my centennial sets. So
Mm-hmm.
once I started doing my centennial sets, um, and that's literally 100 repetitions, like it's not even a physical exercise at that point. Just imagine you're doing any event and you're literally having to count 1,000, 1,000, all the way up to 100. That's why they would say count and sleep will put people to sleep real fast,
Mm-hmm.
because when by the time you're conditioning your mind to be able to continuously work, it makes it stronger. So when people think that quote unquote their emotions are going to save the day and not their mind, putting their mind to work, that's where I believe that they start having problems. So therefore you want to condition that mind. That's important of the mental aspect for it. The spiritual aspect for it is is that no matter what your belief system is, no matter what your belief system is, you're going to be testing it at some point. And and you need to make sure that you stay in tune with your belief system, stay in tune with your feelings, stay in tune with making sure that you want to become better. So if meditation is better, if praying is better, um, I have this saying that I always, when I hear couples say that they have problems, I'm like, oh, that's not a real problem. You just need to go spend some time in your prayer closet,
Mm-hmm.
because you're trying to turn something that's not a problem into a problem when really it's a problem with self. A problem with either A, your belief system, or your faith, or your feelings on how you believe that love is supposed to work. And a lot of times we should be able to just pray on it, whatever your belief system is, and, push forward, push through it.
Yes,
So I
that's so true.
always believe that.
That's one thing I didn't do with my ex. We never prayed, but I used to like not talk about certain things. So she would bring up something, and I would just like agree. And eventually, she caught on that I was just agreeing to not cause arguments with her, and that would cause a problem too. What do you think about that?
Um, about about the arguments or
Yes,
what?
they say she says something triggering, but it don't trigger me and or trigger the person. So you just let it go, and then next thing, next go, or you just agree, and then she like for example, I'm gonna give you a perfect example. My family taught me not to say sorry, never say sorry,
Okay.
you know. So when she picked up on that, I say apologize, or my and I say apologize instead of saying sorry, she realized I wasn't really sorry because I was using apologize instead of sorry. So she felt you don't really mean it because you're not saying sorry, you're saying apologize. You understand?
Mm. Yeah. What for you? What's the difference between being sorry and apologizing?
Sorry, like I was taught through my family that sorry shows weakness. So use other words instead, like apologize, my fault, my back. I didn't mean to. There's no say sorry, because it shows weakness.
Right. I've heard that before, but now that we're two older gentlemen, what type of weakness would that show to you?
I don't know. It don't make sense to me no more. Like you just
Yeah,
said.
yeah, exactly. When you said that, Lamore, I'm literally thinking like, man, I've heard that too my whole life. But now that I'm sitting down, and I'm thinking about it. What weakness would that show? Because clearly, if I make a mistake or I do something that's offensive to you, I am sorry about it.
Hmm.
Because it's a lot of times we're going to do things or say things that going to offend people, and you're really not meaning to offend them,
Hmm.
or hurt them, just to put it out there.
Hmm.
So if by the time I hurt someone and it wasn't intentional, I am probably more sorry than I am just apologizing, because I would apologize for something. Uh, um, I would apologize for something if it was something that I did and I realized that I did it and it was intentional, what it was I was saying or doing, but I didn't mean to hurt you from it. But a
Hmm.
lot of times, man, to tell the truth, as now that I'm thinking about it, is that you're going to end up hurting people a lot to be
Hmm.
able to get from A to B. You're going to end up hurting yourself a lot, to get from A to B.
Yes.
It takes, yeah, you're going to go through a little bit of pain to grow.
Yes. You ever heard of the emotional bank before?
Emotional bank.
Yes. So basically, it's like a real bank, and
Okay.
you start at 100%, and then as you do stuff that your partner don't like, you lose interest. So now you're at 100%, and you don't agree with her, and y'all argue about something petty. Now you lost 10%. Like say this never happened to me, but say somebody in a relationship and they get physical or they start yelling and arguing or be verbally abusive, you lose 30, 40, 50%. So eventually you're gonna be at 0%. And you could always get more interest, but it's hard to gain interest. It's easy to lose interest, but it's hard to gain interest. That makes sense. And I feel
Yeah.
like I feel that was my problem with my ex. even though we wasn't never physical and was never verbal abuse, me not respecting her wishes, me not respecting her beliefs, me distancing myself, made her social bake so low. Even when I try to fix it by taking her on dates, buying her gifts, spending time with her, listening, taking accountability to the things I did. I gave her a whole list. Like before we even got back, started going on dates. I sent a whole list to her. Like I never realized I should never did this. I should never did that. I should never did this. I should never did that. I should have tried more on this. And and that I thought that was will build us back, but her bank was still so low that like to give you a perfect example, I let her walk out. I let her walk out the house, and I didn't stop her. And that's one day she said to me, she's like, you didn't stop me leaving. You just let me leave, and then you didn't contact me for months. And then when I finally did contact her. Like I said, her bank was so low, I couldn't win her back.
Wow. Were you trying to win her back?
Yes, I did. I tried to win her back. Spent a lot of money, a lot of time. Like I said, she was very caring. Like last year, she spent time with me my son's birthday. She spent time with us on my daughter's birthday. I took her on several dates. I got pictures on my Instagram. You can see us together, the Wonderland thing that was like a little exhibit in Manhattan. We went to David Buster several times, went to several bars.
Yeah.
But I don't think it will work out now because I don't drink no more and I don't smoke weed no more. And she do both.
Oh, God.
I don't know how I would be able to socialize with her because that's one of the things we used to do to socialize, sit at bars, have drinks, smoke some weed together. I don't do that no more. So I don't know how I will like be able to spend time with her, at least not doing that kind of stuff.
You can still do it, but was it
Yeah,
a
I know that.
spiritual reason
Yeah, I know
or
that, but
medical reason?
yeah, I know that,
Is
but
that
like I just don't. I oh since I was 16, that's all I did with people: smoke weed, drink liquor, socialize like that. So I really don't know how to socialize with somebody sober.
so what made you stop?
Several reasons. Money was one of the big ones. Knowing I was spending like 3 or 4 grand a year on weed,
Isn't it
and that's
crazy?
only because it's cheaper. Before it was way higher than that because weed was more expensive. But now you could get an ounce of weed for like $50. And I feel like it's synthetic now. It's so cheap now. I feel like it's not real weed, not the same weed that we smoked 10, 20 years ago. So that's another reason why I stopped. There was times like I wasn't getting high, but I felt like sick, for example, like chest racing, body racing, tired,
Oh,
lazy. It took me even and I stopped smoking. The withdrawals was crazy. The withdrawals was crazy. I
yeah.
no appetite, very weak, always wanting to sleep, but a little depressed. Like even though not suicidal, but like but depressed. Lonely. A lot of my memories, resurfaced, and I attribute that to like trauma and stuff like that. And and now that I'm over 33 days clean, like my body, I feel so much better. So I'm full of energy. I eat a lot now. I eat more than I eat before because before I had to smoke before I ate and I had to smoke after I ate. Now I don't have to
Wow.
do none of that no more. So
So I noticed you said clean. So
mhm.
you went to like AA or NA?
No. I just stopped cold turkey.
Wow.
Cold turkey.
That's strong.
This is myself from several people. Like I said, I don't know how to socialize with her no more because I don't smoke no more. That's one of the things we did together. So I don't know how to like a lot of people I did socialize with and smoking. I don't do that with them. I got a brother that lived close by, and like he said to me the other day, like, you don't hang out with me no more. I said I don't smoke no more, so I don't know how to hang out with you. I don't want to
Wow,
be
man.
I don't want to be in the same room with you while you smoking. And I'm sitting there smelling it, inhaling it. It's going in my system. Secondhand smoke going in my system. So on.
So do you think um one of the uncomfortable truths in a situation like that is is like the ability to still be able to spend time together. I mean, like now we can't just find a different hobby or thing to do together as opposed to minimizing or cutting off the relationship.
No, definitely. I don't see how I don't see how that would work because, like, for example, I was walking with him the other day, and he's like, "Oh, I want to get some weed, this and that." He noticed the dispensary, so I goes with him to the dispensary, and he didn't have an ID to get in to the dispensary because he needed US state ID. he didn't have any USA ID. He had an ID where he was just he lived in another state. He just came back and he's like, go inside for me. And I didn't want to go inside for him. I'm like, I don't want to go inside. Like, and he just said, like, kept, come on, man, no. And like, that made me uncomfortable. So it made me
Right.
want to distance myself more from him. You know, because I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
I told you I don't smoke weed no more. I told you I didn't want to go inside no more. I told you it made me uncomfortable, and you're still trying to peer pressure me into going inside and buy your weed for you because you can't get inside it. You know, if that makes sense.
yeah, it definitely makes sense. So do you think like so when people are in relationships, so let's say you and your queen were still together at this point and you decided to go clean. So when you believe the relationship would have ended, or even more so should have ended, because now um she has this outlet and you don't anymore.
Yes, I feel like it's gonna. I don't have a problem with it. Like she could smoke whatever. She smokes cigarettes, and I don't smoke cigarettes. You know, and she
Hmm.
smokes cigarettes when we was together. It didn't bother me. It's just that certain situations where it would come in involved. Like for example, like I said, I don't want to be around it. I don't want to smoke it. So say we go out. Like I said, I smoke before I ate, and I smoke after I ate. So if we go out to dinner, she gonna want to smoke before we go eat dinner. You know,
Oh,
so
okay.
I'm gonna sit at the table while she go outside to smoke, or I'm gonna sit with her while she smoke before we go inside the restaurant. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
it's gonna bump heads eventually. So I don't. So I feel like it's just better to stay apart.
yeah. Well, I think by the time you come into a situation like that, you're dealing with a smoker that now, if she's at the point that she cannot bi biologically take not smoking before y'all go to dinner or
Mm-hmm.
post dinner or whenever y'all out or are together, then yeah, definitely probably need to seek help. Because I mean, if he or she in any situation realize that I need to slow this down or I need to stop this for health reasons as well as because that's a form of addiction at that point where you realize you can't even go a few hours without something to possibly seek help and to change so that you can work on that relationship together. So one of the things that I'm constantly preaching on the business side of relationships is that would be one of those situations or scenarios to where now you have to seek help or you have to seek change for it because it's hindering the growth of your relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I try to look at everything for people who are in relationships.
Yeah.
So sometimes I hear stories, and when by the time I hear the story, it's a person not realizing like, hey, when you start thinking about the longevity of a relationship, because you and she could have been married right now.
Mm-hmm.
So if by the time you and she would have been married, and now you're going down this path, and she's not ready to come down that path yet, I want to
Can you
focus
share
on
some tips for individuals who want to develop long-term financial plans that support their relationship and future goals?
um, long-term plans. Are you talking financial long-term plans or just relationship long-term plans?
Financial plans that support their
So
relationship and future goals.
yes. So let's take that question down two different paths. So and which I believe are definitely interesting topics. One would be the 50-50 relationship
Mm-hmm.
conversation, dealing with financial planning. Um, most men and women today anyway, um, they are both financially savvy, professionally savvy.
Mm-hmm.
I have not met one woman since, no, I haven't met one woman in my life anyway that didn't or doesn't have a professional plan for life. You know, so with that being said, it's automatically going to set up most couples and relationships be to both be providing to the family financially. So when by the time you know that both of you are going to be providing financially, you still need to keep the biggest tip that I would give is that you still want to make it to where your family can survive off of one income. So one reason for the first income is being able to survive off of one income is the fact that one of you may not be able to keep working. So just starting with by the time you start bringing children together, maybe the mother, or even to today's field, maybe the father will take off for months, half a year, up to a year at a time. So when by the time you have your entire financial planning on your family based off of two incomes, it's probably going to cause a problem for you in the long run. Now, if you're a young couple and both of you are working, so if you're a young couple and both of you are working, where you are financially at that point, you're going to continue to grow. My brother and I were just talking. My first rent was $225 a month. Can you
Wow.
believe it? Back in 1993, my first rent was $225 a month. You can barely get a good hotel room at that price per night now. Barely
Wow.
get a good hotel room. And
Yeah.
all of that to say, the big financial plan for couples is if you can try to set up your long-term plan off of one income. Save that second income for trips, vacation, putting money aside for a big project later on down the line. But definitely making sure that as a couple that you financially plan for everything and think about all of the unexpected. Another one of those uncomfortable truths is that if if you meet a young man, so let's just start with the sexist. By the time you meet a young man at 25, even if he came out of college and went down a career path, sometimes in 10 to 15 years, he's probably going to look at a different career path. And sometimes that different career path transferring over could cause a financial hit on the family. Children going to cause a financial hit on the family. So even if by the time you have two incomes, when by the time you need to start adding the cost of children into that family, it's going to cost money. So if you don't want to run into financial complications, try to set it up to where you and she can survive off of one income.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Coming into your 50-50 relationships, when it comes to financial, anyway, is that we should still know how much money each of us is bringing in. So it is completely absurd, absurd. So this is done for couples that aren't married yet, or even couples that are now, because I understand that I've actually talked to a lot of couples that actually they're married and have separate bank accounts. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not even sure how that works. And the reason I'm saying I'm not sure how that works is because I don't see how you two together can financially plan for a future if by the time you have money in your account that I'm not for sure how much you have, and I have money in my account on how much I have. How can a couple plan like that?
Mm-hmm.
You know, Except, oh, we're going to put this money into the house income or to pay the bills, and now we both got different amounts of money that we have or that we're sharing. I never understood that. One of the big things when it comes to relationships financially is that when by the time, quote unquote, the man is paying for everything, I always wonder, I'm looking into the camera on this, ladies, what are you doing with your money?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm spending all my money on everything, what are you doing with your money? And if by the time I don't have access or even knowledge of what it is you're doing with your money, that sounds so crazy to me. I don't even understand how something like that can be pushed. I'm about to do a podcast on this video that I got where they asked this guy and this lady, how much money you have in your bank account? So the guy, he said almost proudly, I got $1,200 in my bank account. They asked the lady how much money she had. She had $70,000.
How much money is in your guys' bank account?
I got like 1,200.
Like 70K? Yeah.
70K? What you mean 70K?
What do you mean? My dad gave it to me.
You made me pay for all this shit, and you got 70K.
You're my boyfriend. Why wouldn't you pay for my things?
Well, I mean, if you got 70K, I mean, you should be paying for this.
Yeah,
shit.
but usually the guy's supposed to pay for the things.
This is a serious problem. Like, I'm not even kidding. I paid for
What
dinner.
are you getting mad at me for?
That was $400.
You're supposed to pay for my shit.
You got 70K.
You're my boyfriend. You're supposed to pay for my
kidding
shit.
me? Yo, dude, this is actually.
It's not my fault you're broke. How is that my fault?
We're done then.
What do you mean we're done?
Then. We're done then.
If you're gonna fucking scream at me, then leave.
In her bank account. And so the guy got mad because he's like, I just spent $400 tonight, blah, blah, blah. And the lady was trying to say, you're the man, you should be paying for everything, which makes sense if by the time I'm managing all of the finances that's coming into this house. You know, even when by the time my children were started working, I even knew how much money they made. And if they weren't spending their money consciously to the positive, then I would take part of that money from them. You know, so I always believe that financial responsibility is one of the major parts of relationships. In fact, when earlier when I told you that my daughter was making the claim that infidelity would be the biggest problem that she faced, I said, no, babe. I said most relationships fall into complications, major complications coming from finances. You know, and those finances, the subset to the finances, what you're doing professionally, what she's doing professionally, what we're putting our money in, what type of lifestyles are we going to lead? You know, because I could be very humble. You know, because I got my raise at work, I don't want to go out and buy me a new BMW. You know, I want to put money in the bank because I know later on down the line, I want to invest $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 into a different business venture. So when by the time families, couples can financially plan for the long term, that's when I believe that they'll be able to survive those pitfalls that come to finances and relationships. I like that question. That's a good question.
Thank you. And to answer your question, I'm gonna give you two examples. Okay.
Okay.
The first example is a couple that has separate bank accounts. Okay. The man, he pays the rent. He also gives half the money for groceries. The woman pays everything else. So she paid the light, she paid the gas, she paid the cable bill. And anything in the household, like furniture, stuff like that, they split equally. And that's how and they've been married for probably 10 years now. And still going strong. It's still going strong. They had the little bickerings, but very happy couple. And now the second couple I'm going to mention is the man pays for everything. And the woman don't pay for nothing, right? So this man was an incel, right? He started going to the gym. He lived with his mother. He lived with his mother all his life. You know, my mama's boy. He wanted to go to the gym. He got diesel. He met a woman. The woman got pregnant. They had a baby. The baby was autistic. And the mother moved downstairs. They stayed upstairs. And they seemed like they was a happy couple. Looking on the outside in, we realized the man paid for everything, and the woman, she would take trips. She would take trips to Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico. She went to Europe once, and she was her own money to do this. He's not paying for it, his own money, but like I said, she's not paying for no bills. She's not paying for no baby diapers. She never taking care of the kid because she's taking 3-4 trips a year while he stay home with the kid. And he's such an incel, and I'm gonna say simp, that he let her get away with all this stuff. So I don't know if they could. I don't know if they together now, but 9 to 10 they probably not, because like she definitely was cheating on him and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And basically that answers your question. Like I don't really think together now at all. I stopped. The mother was dating my cousin. The mother was dating my cousin because he was into older women. She was like probably almost 70, and he's in his 40s, and he loved her. He lived with her for over 20 years. He moved to Wisconsin. When he moved to Wisconsin, that's when I got out of the loop of everything. So I don't know how far the relationship is now, but when my cousin was still with his mother, I was going around and I seen all that stuff. I seen that he's paying for everything. cars. He bought her car. He paid for his car, and she would take trips and all that. She would buy Louis Vuitton, Gucci, and all this stuff, and she never contributed nothing to the household.
Were they married?
No.
Wow. So definitely some of the advice that
The- the-
I would definitely give to men. So my son will be 19 this year. As he start to mature and come into dating, I would definitely advise him to not not financially compromise himself during the dating phase.
Mhm.
So if by the time they're living together, but do you know how much money each one was bringing in? Like, was she bringing in about the same amount he was? Because I mean, I get it if one of you not bringing in money.
No, he basically had a good job. He probably was making $80,000 a year, $100,000 a year.
Wow.
She probably worked at I think she worked at IHOP or something like that. She had a regular like waitress job or something like that.
Wow. So that's what I'm saying. So when by the time something like that happens and you're moving in together, so one of the advice that I would give to couples that are moving in together, you might as well start looking at each other at almost like you're married.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in fact, this is how legal law marriages and statutes work, because when by the time you move in with someone and y'all been together for years, you need to almost start carrying and moving with each other as if this were your wife, as if this were your husband, because you're moving like it. You just don't have that legal part behind it. But if you're going to do it right, then you need to go and combine your finances, or at least know what your finances are, so that you know how you're going to be moving going into the future. And when by the time I say going into the future, how we're going to financially manage this family.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so if by the time whatever she was making, whatever he was making, you know, and he say, oh, I'm gonna let her keep, if she's keeping her money to quote unquote upkeep herself, I guarantee you that if she were making $1,000 a month,
Mm-hmm.
she's probably not spending $1,000 a month
Mm-hmm.
upkeeping herself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so she's probably spending less than that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because if by the time you're surviving, he's surviving on his own, she's surviving on her own, and now they come together, they should be able to save money, pocket money, put money aside for whatever it may be. It's no reason that now I'm going to bring a queen into my life and I'm about to financially compromise myself, because I saved this conversation from now that I'm older, mature, have more money. I definitely have more money to spend, but I always have these conversations as in I'm speaking to the 20 and 30-year-olds, you know, because I think most time by the time you're 40, you're almost set in your ways anyway. It takes a lot to change a 40-year-old mindset. But the 20 and 30-year-olds, the teens, the older teens that's coming into relationships that's about to move together, oh yeah, you should definitely know how much money each of you are spending or bringing into a relationship. You know, a lot of times, man, do you think more women or more men have their own places, apartments, single men, single women?
I think well, women got their own apartment than men.
Oh, most definitely the more women have their own place. So when by the time she's bringing a man in, or even vice versa, if it's a man bringing a woman in, and they're just quote unquote helping you pay the bills for whatever reason it may be, if you and she are focused on building a long-term relationship, looking towards marriage, looking towards being together, then you need to discuss those finances. And I know it's I love your title, like I said, uncomfortable for a lot of people to do, but finances are so relevant, so important, because now you get to see what is Lamore doing with his extra money? What is she doing with her extra money? You know, what is he doing with his extra money? You get to break that down and see how they're living and have that conversation about it. You know, so I definitely believe that finances are In fact, I'm gonna do my homework on it, but I'm almost want to bet you more that finances are the breakdown to most relationships. If it's not number one,
Mhm.
then it's definitely number two.
Mhm.
Because I'm thinking now maybe number one is irreconcilable differences. They don't
Yeah.
go into details.
Yeah.
Um, Number two and number three are going to come down to infidelity or finances. It's going to be one of those.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, definitely in the top three.
Like I'm in my 30s. I'm in my late 30s right now, and my
Okay.
20s, every relationship I was in, I was one of those guys paying for everything, dates, trying to please the woman. And once I got in my 30s, I just stopped that. So like I started only dating women that had something to offer me. So if it's not,
Exactly.
they didn't have to have a job, but they had to have a car, or they had to have an apartment.
Mm-hmm.
They had to have something to
Mm-hmm.
offer me. And if they didn't have that to offer me, I got rid of them real fast. Like to give you a perfect example,
Mm-hmm.
I met a girl in Jersey working for IKEA. I didn't really have feelings for her, but I did like her. I like her, 'cause I like traits of her. Like she had different traits I like. She was very short. She was short. She was skinny. She was funny. She was very educated. She the one that got me into
Okay.
AI. She the one that got me into like podcasting and stuff like that. She the
Gotcha.
one, encouraged me to start my business, stuff like that. And she was very hands on. And one day she went to work and she got into a fender bender. And I don't know if she was really hurt or she was just, now you see on TV, somebody get into a finger bender, they got the dang on their neck, and they,
Yeah.
oh. I
Exactly.
don't know if she was doing that. Okay. So,
Uh,
so, so now it's, I can't go to work. I can't work no more. I can't do this. And now I'm working. I'm still working at IKEA and other places that we doing freelance. We both are freelancers, but she always at home. I come in the house, she doing something productive, looking up research, looking up AIs, stuff like that, looking up passive income, learning Spanish. So she was very productive as she was home. She wasn't just sitting around, but she was just kept living lazy. So I told her she had to go because all she wanted to do is have sex and sit in the house. That's what she wanted to do is have sex, sit in the house, have sex, sit in the house.
yeah.
But if you so hurt, how come you could have sex? That's what I couldn't get from her. I'm like, okay, I'm like, look, you hurt though. Like, how you want to have sex if you hurt? Like, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. This and that. She never said, ouch.
Yeah.
Never said, oh, don't do this position, don't do that position. She was fine doing sex, but not having sex. Oh, my back, my neck. You know, I can't work.
Mhm.
And I had this conversation with my previous co-host. I don't know if I uploaded the video or the video got deleted because a lot of my videos I don't have. I did with these people, and my male co-host was like, "What's wrong with that? She was having sex." I'm like, "I need more than that. I need more than sex, man."
Exactly.
He would have been satisfied with this sex, but like I need more. I need more than that. I can't sit in the house all day. I'm buying the weed. I'm buying the liquor. I'm buying the food because now she's not working no more. So now it's all on me now, and
Yeah.
and so I'm like, yeah, you gotta go. And I told her she had to leave, and she ended up leaving, and I never talked to that girl again since I
Wow.
kicked her out the house.
You miss her? I mean, because
And I didn't have feelings for her at all. I
I've
didn't have no feelings for her at all. Like I said, I like traits of her. She has that stuff I like about her, but I was not in love with her. I didn't have feelings for her. I didn't miss her when she left. I wasn't sad when she left. I was relieved because I was able to save some money now because I
yeah.
realized she wasn't gonna do nothing with her life, and she was gonna play sick, that. She offered me money, so yeah, when I get my lawsuit, I'm gonna give you $5,000. That $5,000 not enough for me to put up with you for 3-4 years until you get that lawsuit.
Yeah, until you get that lawsuit finalized. That's a long time.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, when you were talking about the sex thing, I can even think back to my my heyday, so to speak. Even on a good strong night, you probably only putting in an hour or two, you
Mhm.
know, and you still got 22 hours in that day. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta have something more to draw you together than just that. And by the time you put in a good night on a Monday, you're probably not going to do the same thing on a Tuesday. She probably ain't going to get hit off like that again until the weekend, especially if you're coming into a work week, so definitely one of the big things that that I try to stress to people is that sex, although it's important, man, after, have you been with anyone for longer than 5 years?
Yes.
Yeah.
Longest I ever
It's
had,
just-
the longest I ever had was over 10 years.
wow. But the question is, was the sex the same way it was during year one?
Yes.
Wow, how'd y'all pull
Yes.
that off? That's interesting. How you pull that off?
I was in love with her. I was in love
Uh,
with her.
so
I don't know about her. I don't know if she felt the same way about me during that 10 years, you know, but it never wavered for me. I did cheat. I did sleep with her sister. I did sleep with her
you
sister.
slept
I
with his
did.
sister on purpose? And when I say on purpose, like what was it planned or was one night the energy just
The
right?
sister initiated it. One day we was like sitting in the house. The girl I was dating was laying on my lap, asleep, and my hand was
Mhm.
hanging off the couch. And the sister kept rubbing her feet on my hand. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I took my girlfriend head off my lap and took her sister in the room. And from there, I just kept doing it. Not in the house, but
You think
I
she
mean,
was testing you?
no, I think she did that to all her sister boyfriends because I think she's just very promiscuous. Or
Oh, okay.
she probably just wanted what her sister had. You know, I don't really know, but she outed it. I didn't out it. So
Oh,
basically,
she
one day,
told the sister.
yeah. So basically, the one day I'm in the house and my girlfriend comes to the house and she like she come in the house, she mad, she furious. I'm like, what's wrong with you? It's like my sister told the family that you slept with her and you initiated it. But basically she's basically, you know, and I'm like, that's not true. So I told her what really happened. I'm like, she initiated it, this and that and that. But we also got caught once. We was at one of their cousin houses. My girlfriend was sleeping in the room. I took us. It was like a long hallway. It's like a long hallway from the entrance. When you come in the door, it's a long hallway before you get to the living room. So in that hallway, I'm smashing the sister, and the room door opened and all that, and we heard her come out. So I put my pants up. The sister sat on the floor. I went to the refrigerator. I looked in the refrigerator. The refrigerator is right there, and I looked in the refrigerator. She looked at us. She went back in the room. So I did what any man would do. I went in the room and had sex with the other one, and no, not I didn't clean myself off or nothing.
Women get mad when they say what any man would do because for some reason they think that 8 out of 10 of us wouldn't do it. And I'm like, yeah, the ones that probably wouldn't do it are probably the men that's probably not interested in you, man. Man, sometimes when I have those conversations with women like we're having now, and any man wouldn't have done that, and you looking at him like, if I had this conversation with 100 men in a room, 90 of us would have tore that thing up that night.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
basically in 10 minutes time, I had sex with both sisters in like 10 minutes.
Wow.
Right.
See, that's a good one. You had a mother and daughter team yet?
No,
Oh, see, I had a mother
no
daughter.
more
I
my
got
daughter
you beat,
teens.
man.
I did have lesbians. I did have lesbians before. I've been in 2 poly relationships before. So I did experience those.
Got you. What did you experience them with any emotions attached to them, or just the moment?
See, my girlfriend that's in her sister, I like the sister more. I like the sister
Wow.
more because she is more my type. Like I said, I like short women. I like short women. I
Yeah.
like skinny women. The sister was thick, you know that. So I like I like control. And like a thick girl and a big girl, you can't do you can do too much. Roll over, get on your
Man,
knees. Now,
man, I think you
a
were head
skinny
last
girl,
back on my shoulder. Exactly.
yeah, a skinny,
Yes.
slim girl, you could touch the ceiling. You can make her touch
Yep.
the ceiling and stuff like that. You know,
I
so
call it fighting weight. When women
yeah.
like fighting weight, yeah, you know, oh, this is a good fight. When by the time that, like you said, that at that manageable weight,
Yeah.
definitely.
The sister was prettier too. She was prettier. She was yellow bone, like light skin, brown skin. When I was dating, it was dark skin. So that's
Yeah,
another thing I like. I like red bones. I like light skin girls.
got you.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's definitely a good contrast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're so right. Yeah, I like the sister more because she was light skinned and all. And, but you know, it just ruined the relationship. It just ruined the relationship because after that, she always said to me, "I can't date somebody that like my sister more than me."
Wow. So do you think infidelity can or should ruin a relationship? So you said you have children. How old are your children?
Right now, my kids are 17 and 14.
17 and 14. Boy, girl.
The oldest is a girl, the youngest is a boy.
All right, so perfect. So you're like I am. You have both sexes. So if your daughter told you she was dating a man that committed infidelity, would you tell her to run for the
Yes,
hill?
yes.
For real? So you don't believe that sex for us is different than it is for them?
It definitely is different. It's different feelings because to a man feelings could change. Like I said, told you about several relationships I had, and I told you a lot of them I didn't have no feelings at all towards them. It was just sex, or they had something to offer me. A woman, you could have sex with a woman, and she could fall in love immediately. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's why you got a pussy whip and you got a dick whip.
Yeah. I about to say, because a lot of times those women, they in love with that pipe though.
Yeah.
So and I think they end up coming to the conclusion of realizing one day, like, oh yeah, I don't really love him. I'm in love with that thing.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
You
exactly.
know, but coming back to the business side of relationships when it comes to so my daughter, she's in love with her boyfriend now. I, I guess technically they're engaged. I don't know. He didn't do like a formal
Mm-hmm.
engagement or proposal,
Mm-hmm.
but she has a ring and stuff like that. But let's say he were to do something, uh, he run into that sister scenario.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and when I say that sister scenario, a woman's making him an offer that he can't refuse.
Mm-hmm.
Most 20, even 30-year-old men can't walk away from what I like to call stress-free pussy.
Mm-hmm.
If a woman has set up a scenario for a man and she let him know that I'm not going to cause drama in your life, most men can't walk away from that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, especially if they put themselves in a position to even get that proposition.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so if I'm in a position to where now Jane Doe is about to tell me, hey Sarge, I like you, blah, blah, blah. Like I was in the poetry circuit. Man, when I tell you how many women I came across on a nightly basis that was throwing it at me, literally, and not throwing it at me like, oh, I love you, I want to be in a relationship, throwing it at me of, hey, I think you hot, like literally, you as you get older, you'll have a woman telling you, hey, I like your eyes, and that I like your eyes mean, I want to know more. I like your hair, I like this, I like that. If you most men believe that scenario is completely stress-free, it's hard for them to walk away.
Mhm.
Like you remember the movie How Stella Got a Groove Back?
Yes.
Yes. So most men, if they were in any situation like that, man, they tearing that thing up.
Mm-hmm.
If they went on a vacation or a trip and Jane Doe is throwing it at them,
Mhm.
most men not going back to that prayer closet. They're
Yeah.
not going to that prayer closet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're going to CVS getting that condom
Mm-hmm.
and they coming back,
Yes. Yes.
But when if it came down, and this is my speaking, if it came down to my own daughter and her potential husband made a mistake like that, I would have that conversation with him, because a lot of times we men learn from our mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
You realize like, I didn't even love her, I didn't even like her. I literally just wanted to get that nut off. By the time they go from A to B, they can literally get themselves back in sync.
Mm-hmm.
If he's a good guy, she's a good girl. I don't believe that men, by the time they're out there. Now, if they're running rampant and they're just a dog by nature, like, so if you ask me, hey, Big Sarge, what makes you think your relationship coach could offer advice? I would tell the whole world, man, up front, which I'm prepared to tell the whole world. I made every mistake a young married man can make.
Mm-hmm.
I was literally a husband and a father before I was a man.
Mm-hmm.
And I will not hesitate to say that to anyone. I didn't really start getting my shit together until I was 40.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I'm saying when I was 40, I realized the mistakes that I was making along the way, but I didn't settle into not making mistakes or thinking that I was smarter than the system. A lot of men think that they're smarter than the system, think that they could outpace her, outpace society. Man, I was on do you remember MySpace?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes, so I was on MySpace. By the time I left from MySpace and came on to Facebook, I had to get off Facebook because my wife can see this.
Mm-hmm.
Like I couldn't get away from the social media nightmare, so that caused me to slow down, to come up off of that. But even back then, I thought I was smarter than the system. It was never that, oh, I didn't love her, or I didn't want to be married, or I didn't want to be a husband, or I didn't want to be a father anymore. It was never about that for me. Because like you said, man, I could be like, I love you, baby, and go tear some pussy up tonight and come back, go to sleep, get up, go to work tomorrow, and move on. So I believe most men, and even when I talk to them, if they were having this uncomfortable conversation, that you realize that uh, I'm not gonna say we, I'm not gonna say all men, because I know women gonna beat me up for this. Trust me, we can go tear some pussy up and go to sleep like nothing happened, get up and start life over. You know, with that being said, with that knowledge, I know a lot of good men that, even if we wanted to say made that mistake, that they were able to bounce back from it. So
Yeah, that's so true. That's so true. It took me a while to realize that. Like, for example, like I don't care. I don't care about women no more. I only care about sex like that. I'm not an incel and like that. I could always go. I'm not afraid to go to outside to a bar somewhere or on the street. Like,
yeah.
hey, how you doing? My name is such a like. It's not a problem. But like, I know the difference now. My previous co-host, like, he sleep with a lot of women. Probably sleep with a different woman every night. He probably have sex with 40, 50 women a month. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's happy. And
Yeah.
and I don't think that's healthy either. So I could do that too, but I realized as I got older, I could pick and choose these situations. So I get women come on to me all the time, and I just turn them down. I don't have a problem turning them down, and I don't think that guy I was just telling you about can turn a woman down. I think him having sex with women validates him. And I don't like sex don't validate me
That's
at
a good
all.
conversation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sex don't validate me at all. So the girl could be a 10, and I could be like, no, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
I feel like that because, like you said, a guy and a girl emotions is totally different. A guy could catch feelings, not catch feelings. A woman could catch feelings. 9 out of 10, a woman would catch feelings faster than a guy will. And
Yeah.
I feel like I can control that situation. So I turn women down all the time. Like I said, I kick women out the house now just so I could be in charge. I could be in control because if I'm not in control, they in control. And if they control, then I look like a fool. And so if I'm sitting in the house with a girl and let her do whatever she want, then she working over me. But if as I'm in control and I'm like, I don't like you right now, get out, just get out. I'm in control, and she always will come back but as soon as I simp up and babe, don't leave me, baby, don't leave me, baby. Now
Yeah.
I'm this little, but as long as I'm always in control, I'm always higher, always higher. You know.
Absolutely makes sense.
Mhm.
So how long you plan on doing that though? You plan on settling down with a queen at some point in the future or what?
Definitely. If
Just
I
have
meet the right one, see, I believe you only fall in love once, and I found the one I'm in love with. So I don't think I could fall in love again. Because, like I said, I don't have feelings for women. I like poly relationships better than heterosexual relationships because
Okay.
when you with one person, they your world, and then stuff could happen where like the man could cheat, the woman could cheat, and that could break the relationship up. It could also mess with people's spirits. For example, a guy could be very confident, and once a woman cheat on him, now he's an incel. Like he don't know how to cope. He afraid to go
Yeah.
out and ask a girl out. He afraid to even speak to a woman, or he may even hate women now. But when you're in a poly relationship, like it's not the same. A man could be with that woman. He could be with another woman. He could have women together. Like both poly, like I said, I was in two. The first one I was in, it was a girl that already had a girlfriend, and they just brought me into it. And it was rules involved. Like for example, one of the rules was I couldn't have sex with the girl I was dating without the other girl being present. And if I did do that, the other girl used to get mad and run out the house all the time. And then the second relationship I was in, the girl would do stuff like I'd be in the bed, we'd be in the bed together, she'd be on the phone with another guy, and all that. And then she'd be like, is this bothering you? No, it's not bothering me. Have your conversation.
Yeah.
Have your conversation. Like I don't care about that. And I would have said it would bother me. She probably would have had a one up on me. If I would have been like, yeah, this shit bother me. I'm sad. It's like, no, have your conversation. I'm gonna do the same exact thing, and I just do the same exact thing. Have a conversation with women on the phone while she's sitting on the bed with me. It's times I had sex with her while she was on the phone with the guy and stuff like that. It's just like when you're in a private relationship, it's totally different from being in a one person relationship.
Got you. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just curious, when they were setting the rules, like was it a rule when you heard the rule that you couldn't be with her without it being a group that you knew you were going to follow? Or like when you first heard it, you were like, no, I need this like a one-on-one type thing.
Nah, I was cool with it. The girl I was messing with was not cool with it. So she was just like, I don't care. Let's do it. And it was times we did it right by the girl, like on the couch. We right there on the couch. The girl was on the other couch. And while we doing it, she'd wake up. I can't believe y'all doing it again. And she'd run out the house. Or we be in the bed. Like we all three of us in the bed together, and she sleep, and now I'm doing something with the girl. Now I guess she feel the bed vibrating, and like y'all doing it again. It always caused problems between their relationship, not between me. Like the girl never did that. She never was upset with me and nothing like that because she knew I wasn't controlling that. Like her girlfriend was doing that. Her girlfriend wanted it.
Yeah.
She got what she wanted.
Man, when I come to my experience with that, what I clearly remember is by the time I was doing it, my girl literally started like pinching me or grabbing me, like she was mad because I was doing it to the other girl too hard, and I'm like, it was like one of the craziest experiences that I ever had. And then almost like you said, now you're doing this and you're doing it with the other girl, and she's mad about it, because you're with the other girl. When it comes to, I did a podcast on polyamorous relationships. So the business side of relationships, if you come into it, definitely check out the polyamorous relationships. They're a little more difficult to manage, but very possible, very feasible if by the time you're accepting or realizing that, one person isn't going to be enough for me. So if by the time you're in a relationship like that, like I said, they're a little more difficult to manage, but still very possible to manage. So when by the time you find your queen or the woman that you said that you were involved with or in love with, if they wanted to go down that pansexual route, how do you foresee a relationship working for the long term? Is it possible to pull that off?
I don't think I could do a poly relationship with her. Like I said, I loved her. So like I don't want no other man touching that girl.
You don't want to share.
Oh, no other man touching that girl at all. At all. That's like you said, that's my queen. Like I really got feelings for her, and like I said, when she said those things to me during the week of her birthday, it hurt it. It hurt it. Like, but
yeah.
and I told her it hurt it, but I was gonna like keep writing her and keep telling her how it feels with that. I told her how it felt, how it made me feel, and I just left her alone. I haven't wrote since. And it's been what 4 weeks now, 4 or 5 weeks now, and I haven't wrote. Her birthday was January 2nd. And I haven't. And so that week of January 2nd, so 2nd she do a party. Then like another, like probably 3 days later, it was like another picture on that. it's to the point I'm like, yo, which day is your birthday? Because like it's like the third party you doing, So yeah, so like I said, it hurt it. I probably was a little jealous of it, Like I said, the outfit she was wearing, she more fit now, she was a little chubby when I was with her. Now she's fit, she works out all the time.
Well, yeah, that's the
She got a
classic.
male,
That's what
yeah,
we do.
yeah, she got a male
Yeah.
trainer, stuff like that. So yeah, that's my queen. Like I would never want nobody to touch her at all. So
What about another
any
woman?
yeah, number one, if that's be fine. That'd be fine. I wouldn't
Another
have no
woman.
problem.
Okay,
Yeah, I
okay.
wouldn't have no
Now,
problem with that.
my
And she wouldn't have to
brother.
tell me, and she wouldn't have to tell me nothing about that, or bring that around me and nothing like that. She could do whatever she want, but like I wouldn't want her to mess with another man. And like I said, she pansexual, so she definitely had that option to mess with anybody she want, and she feel free to mess with.
But women, they actually get emotionally attached to each other.
Mm-hmm.
So I would think that even if by the time she's dealing with another woman, it would still have to be certain boundaries put in place.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like um I remember one time, and I'm gonna chalk it up to naivete, but I remember in my 20s that one of my wife's girlfriends, they seemed too close,
Mm-hmm.
and not even that sex was on the menu or something, but like they were definitely like very close,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And when I say very close, it was almost like she was like emotionally attached to this other one. It wasn't even like normal, like normal female friends or friendships, period. And I think in my 20s, I was a little insecure at that time. As I've got older, I've learned to appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
And once I learned to appreciate that, like I believe one of the secrets or the success to long-term relationships is accepting the fact that you're not everything to that person.
Mm-hmm.
He or she need their outside sources.
Yeah.
He or she needs their outside outlets. Like it's not the same. And when I say it's not the same, like no matter how good I think I am, I can't give her what she could give her. I can't give her what her job could give her. I can't give her what the children would give her. I can't give her what the pets would give her. So one of the big advice or the big tips that I would give is knowing that he or she, they're going to need that outside, input to come into their lives, whatever it may be.
Yes, that's so true. And like my poly relationships or my best relationships, because I always call them. Say I rent a hotel, the girl don't show up. The girls I told you about in my poly relationships, I could always call them. I could call them right now. I'm like, yo, I got a hotel room. Want to come see me? They be in a cab ASAP. On their way to see me.
Yeah.
None of my heterosexual relationships would do that for me. I can't call the girl. I can't call my ex that I love. I can't call no other ex that was just me and her. Be like, hey, come see me in the hotel room. I can't do that. Because either they got boyfriends or something like that. But the ones that I have poly relationships with, I can always call them and they always come running. And one of them even one of them to this day still say they love me.
Yeah. Oh, of course they're gonna love you. I believe that. So speaking of when you say they love you, so do you think men and women can just be friends? That's an interesting conversation.
Yes. I think that men and women can't just be friends because sometimes a woman don't like that guy. Just don't like that guy at all. I know plenty of relationships. I know plenty of people that got male friends and they never touch that guy at all. Like
so once we start discussing a actual true platonic relationship,
mm-hmm.
that means it's no interest on either party at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always wondered, how do a man and a woman get to become such great friends if one of you weren't attracted to the other and you weren't childhood friends growing up? Mm-hmm. So I always wondered, so do you have a female best friend or good friend?
Yes.
Did you
Yes.
smash her?
No. But
Really?
we had
How
talked
y'all
about it
feel
though.
about
So basically, I met her through freelancing. She's an
Okay.
older woman. She asked me, we went to a bar one day and I was working at the US Open. I was working at the US Open and I had like luggage and stuff with me. And she seen that luggage. So at a different gig, we went to a bar and she was like, "Are you okay? You got somewhere to live? Have you ever had a woman take care of you before?" I'm like, "No, I'm good. I'm good." And and the topic just came up and I was like, sparks. She was like, "What you mean?" I said like this, and I started touching her sexually. And she's like, "Nah, I definitely feel that. I definitely feel that." She's like, "But you're my bestie. I feel like it just gotta happen. Like, say we like in a crib somewhere, we drinking and we
Yeah,
smash. But it can't be like, yo, let's go to the hotel, let's go smash. Like, it can't be planned. That's what she was trying to say
exactly.
to me. But like, if you look on TikTok and Instagram, you see conversations like that all the time, where they like, have you ever seen each other? No. You in the friend zone? Yeah. How long y'all been friends? 20 years.
How long did you say you guys have been friends?
10 years.
10 years.
Wait, what?
Yeah. In that time period, have you never had feelings for each other?
No, like he's been just such a great friend.
Oh, really?
So like I couldn't like see the other side.
Then you also got those relationships where the guy be like, call your male best friend and tell him that you just broke up with your boyfriend and see what he say.
So are y'all a couple?
Yes.
Okay, so look, the $1 million question is, do you support your girl having a guy best friend?
Bro, that's funny. We was just talking about that, and she got a best friend. I really don't know. I don't really trust him, but since she's
I
my
tell him
girl,
that we're just best friends. He
So
doesn't
you trust him?
me. Yes, I trust him.
You don't think he'll cheat or anything like that?
don't
You're
know.
a best friend. Okay,
I don't
for sure.
know. I don't
All right, so look, call up your best friend since you trust him so much and tell him that you broke up with him and y'all cheated. He cheated on you or something like that.
I'll call him right now.
Okay, call him.
He just doesn't want to trust
Oh.
me.
I don't really trust dude. I trust you kinda.
Here, hello? Hey, my boyfriend just cheated on me.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
See, I told you he wasn't good for you. Where you at right now? Hey, let me come through and hit it like old times again.
Again? I told you, bro. Again? She belongs to the street.
Yeah, I just broke up with my boyfriend. Like, you want to come smash? Yeah. Yeah. You know, and the guy like, you see, that's why you can't have male friends. That's why you can't have male friends. So you see, it's on both. But like, so yes, I think a man and a female can be friends because if the woman don't like you, she's not letting you hit it. She's not letting you hit it at all.
So do you think she deserved your time and energy that you're about to give to her?
Like that woman I just told you about,
Yeah.
I never spent money on her, but she spent money on me plenty of times.
Oh,
I
okay.
never spent money on her. I never bought a drink. I never bought food, nothing. But she bought my food. One time I got so drunk at the bar, she made sure I got home safe. You know,
Yeah.
telling me making sure she got home safe. You know. So stuff like that. So like that's what I'm saying. Yes, a man and a female can be friends, and like I said, we still fit. She in my group chat too. So
Got you.
I talk to her all the time.
I'm
I see her all the
thinking,
time.
yeah, I'm thinking that's definitely one of those tough things to pull off. You know, female friendships. I myself, so I heard you say it. So you're the first guy I heard say it. And I had a woman friend, Glacier. She was supposed to be my co-host actually. And we always used to make jokes about her friends. She said they had been friends for like 20 years. And one day he propositioned her, you know, and when he propositioned her, she said it ruined the friendship, you know, and he was like, you know, I always loved you. I always thought this would happen, blah, blah, blah. Friendship totally ruined, you know, and when she first told us, so I play chess. I actually come up to New York all the time to play chess. Because at first I thought you were in Philly. Whenever they would come to the chess club, all of her girlfriends and stuff like that, the whole way the podcast first began was that the fact that we would all get together and start talking, and we would have these intimate conversations like this. So we'll just call her friend D. Whenever D, whenever she would talk about D, how great of a friends that they were, I don't know whatever happened until she said D propositioned her one day or told her how much he loved her because now they both were single, you know. So so when by the time that lady said that if it were to happen naturally, that means Lamar it's not a platonic relationship because that means, like you said, there's sparks there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think when you hear the conversation about male-female friendships, they're saying it under the notion that there are no sparks are there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so when by the time the sparks are there, um, how you think she's gonna feel when you reject her? I mean,
Yeah.
if she likes you, you probably gonna break her heart, and she's an older woman too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So go ahead.
that's true. That's true. Because I don't see myself being with her because, like, like I said, I want a woman that like has an offer me. She got her own apartment, but she lived with three grown kids. Two of them are men and
Oh
stuff
man,
like
I
that.
did a podcast
So
on that too.
yeah, so like,
Yeah,
so I can't move in
okay.
with you because I'll be living with you and your grown kids,
Yeah, exactly.
or stuff like that. So it's
The
not like how my
grown
cousin
kid.
see, like a guy like my cousin I told you about, with his relationship, he was with an older woman, but this older woman was basically rich. Her father was a person that her father helped build the first World Trade Center. No, so she's very well off. She worked for the archdiocese. You know, archdiocese. When I say archdiocese, people automatically think Catholic Church, but archdiocese
Yeah.
run a lot of organizations like hospitals and stuff like that.
Oh,
So
I didn't know that.
so she do paperwork for the archdiocese hospital. Like I said, her son is well off, so they own both their houses. It's two houses. Remember, I told you
Mhm.
they had the house upstairs and downstairs. They own both those houses. The father passed away, left her millions of dollars, left her a house, left her cars, and stuff like that. So these are people well off. This woman I'm talking about is not well off. She don't have nothing to offer me. She work regular jobs like I work, same jobs I she works the same jobs I work. So like me drop everything to be with her, saying I love you and wanting to have a relationship. No, it's not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. And she live in a project, so like nothing to offer me. Like now she owned her own property and she had like real estate, money,
We'll
stuff like that.
reconsider.
Yeah, I could see myself falling in love with her, but it's gonna be equal if I mess with her. So I mean,
Yeah,
I might even give more than she give me.
yeah.
Mhm.
So when by the time so so just going down that path, um, so I have this whole thing going into like once people reach 50.
Mhm.
So I believe like once people reach 50, do you know what the normal life expectancy age is for people in this country?
65.
No, it's 70 for women, 68 for men.
Okay.
So that's the normal life expectancy range. So
Mm,
we're talking about you got about 20 years. And let's say you live over 70. Even
mm,
if you live over 70, your quality of life is probably greatly changing,
mhm,
either to health or medical reasons, whatever it may be. But I definitely think that we should definitely at a point, choose to bring our lives together. So if by the time, he's at this point, she's at that point, no matter where you are separate, when you come together, you're going to be better off. You're going to be better off.
yeah.
So when if you got good chemistry together, and I don't just mean sexual chemistry, because man, do you know at this point, every time I go to hospital, so doctors keep telling me, oh, Sean, your blood pressure high, blah, blah, blah. I had a male doctor, man.
Mm,
Doctor was like, man, we got to work on getting your blood pressure down. He said, because when the day come when you need those little special blue pills, we won't even be able to give them to you.
mm,
But I'm only bringing up this point to say that I guarantee you, most couples over the age of 50 aren't every day.
mhm,
So what are we doing to enjoy each other's company? Make life a little bit easier. When I see older women and older men and they're alone,
mhm,
you know, like in my head, I'm always thinking like, man, you should probably settle down with somebody just for that daily companionship,
mhm,
or to do something. So when I came in today. I had a doctor's appointment, and I was in the house and I was getting ready to go to bed. I'm thinking I really don't like climbing in the bed by myself. So I think that at some point we should just want to settle down, want to lock in something at some point. Just comfortability, relatability, long term, get ready to go out of here, so to speak.
Yeah, that's so true. I know a guy who was related to me, but I grew up with him, like calling him uncle and stuff like that. He lost his wife and his family because it came out he did something that very inappropriate. I'm not gonna say what it is. I'll probably get
Okay.
canceled. I wasn't saying online. The P word, the P word to one of his granddaughters. It came out when she was like in her 20s. All her life she kept this secret until she was in her 20s and told the family. So the family disowned him. He used to do angel dust. He ended up having a surgery because the dust messed with his brain, a scalpel in his head. And they gave him millions of dollars for that. He still couldn't find a woman after his wife left him and all that. He still couldn't find a woman. So before he passed away, he ended up passing away eventually. But before he passed away, he made a comment to his nephew. And he told his nephew, he said, I can't find a woman. He said, I didn't have sex in years. He said, I'm about to become gay. And like when he said that, and his nephew couldn't believe he said it. And then when his nephew told me, I'm like, seriously? He's like, yeah, he really said that. He really said that. He's like, because he couldn't get a woman, he was going to mess with a man.
Well, I would think a man would probably be harder to mess with than a woman.
I don't think. I think to him, he thought it would be easier to be part of the community than, So I'm not part of the community, but like, I've been positive for men. Like, for a perfect example, I said in one of my episodes, I was working for the airport, waiting for the Metro North to go back to New York from Jersey. A European guy there. He was from Europe, and we were just talking. It was me, him, and another guy, and we were just talking. And I'm like, "What kind of sights?" I said, "What kind of sightseeing you want to see?" I said, "You want to see the Statue of Liberty and stuff like that?" He said, "Why are you going to take me?" I'm like, "Wait." So I just started busting out laughing. That. And the other guy got real uncomfortable, and he stopped talking with us. Period. Like, he went about his business after that. That. So like I started laughing at the dude's face and all that. And I felt bad. I don't know why I felt bad. Because like I don't think he meant it maliciously. I don't know what it's like to him in Europe. I don't know, like from Europe. He also was a Caucasian guy. So I just thought it was like so weird and all that. So I felt bad a little bit for laughing out so bluntly in his face like that. That. But I kept the conversation going with him. That. And so we just talked about regular stuff. He kept asking me, like, he was scared too. He's very scared. He thought he was gonna like get robbed or something like that. I said, nah. I said, as long as you mess with drugs, as long as you mess with like gangs and stuff like that, and as long as you don't do nothing funny, like nobody gonna bother you. Like, you go about your business, people leave you alone and stuff like that. I would help him get to the train that he supposed to get on. I think he was going to Coney Island or Bay Ridge or something like that. And help him get in the train and all that. And I never seen the guy again. I guess like in his head, like it's easy. Like the guy just, like I said, he was just open. Like, hey, you gonna take me? So I think some men think it's easier to talk that a guy gonna be all willing to do that. And like you see that too. Like, look at what's that girl Star? That Star girl. I forgot her name. Sydney Star. You ever heard of her?
No, I've not heard of her.
Sydney Star is a transgender that say that she only wants straight men. She don't want no men part of the community.
Wow.
She only proposition straight men, and it must work for her or work for him. Whatever you want to if you want to be proved. Like. It must work.
We will call her.
Yeah, like if you and like Adam 22 is.
Alan 22.
Adam 22. Adam 22.
Is he a singer?
No, Adam 22. He's owned like a skateboard shop, but now he own a 21 Jumper podcast. He also got Sutton Talk. He the one that let his wife sleep with men. He won't let his wife sleep with
Okay,
men.
the white guy.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah,
that's why I heard the name. Okay,
yeah.
I know what you're talking
Like
about.
it's an episode of his podcast. He got her on his podcast, and he take her to the office. Take her to the office and all that. And this man, like, you would think he a straight guy, but he must like both.
I didn't know you were here in Cali. So I would have, had to have flown out just for you. Now I'm going to be real with you, Adam. If I would have had to fly out just for you to do this interview,
you would have.
You would have had to. I would have had to. Get something.
Yeah, I figured you were.
You'd
going
have to
there.
give me some. You'd have to me come to the room afterwards. You got lucky as this because I was already here.
Okay, now that we were done the interview, do you want to go in my office with me for a little bit?
Yeah.
Oh.
I want to. What are we gonna do?
You know what we're gonna do, bitch. Let's go.
Don't play with it. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. Don't play with it.
You must either be pansexual or fluid, gender fluid or something. Order for him to, but it's also TV, so it could have just been for TV, for all we know, I didn't do nothing at all. But the camera went off after that. It was like he showed it, but like if you go to the video, Sydney Star and Anna 22, you will see that scene, and he like, yes, what you think we gonna do? And he took the mic off, and they walk off the camera, so I think they do think that it's easier to approach a man than a woman.
Approach a man. That makes sense, man. I'm actually gonna look into that. But, man, it's been great talking to you. I think one of the things that I would love to put out there so that we can bring this to a close.
Yeah.
Great conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Love it, man.
Mm-hmm.
So we definitely have to do this again.
Yeah.
I think one of the big things, coming back to one of the first questions that you asked me about the ABCs, about the acknowledgement, of the differences between people to bring into better commitments, better conversations, better understanding for each other, is that it takes work, and whatever it is. And believe it or not, Lamore, if you and I were, I want to say in a relationship, if you were talking to your woman, or if I were talking to my woman, we could probably never be able to speak this freely and open to one another. So when by the time people know the different experiences or the different things that they've done, and that, hey, these things are used to make me into a better man or a better woman, it just makes us better people. And that's all that I want to close with.
No problem. Thank you for that. I really appreciate you for joining me today.
Man, appreciate it, man.
You want
podcast, Uncomfortable Truths.
Yes.
I like that.
Thank you for watching Uncomfortable Podcast. My special guest, Big Sarge. Really appreciate you, man. Thank you for joining me. It was a very educational conversation. I hope people can get something for this. I hope I won't get canceled for the stuff that we was talking about, but hopefully it will be fine. I won't get demonetized.
All right, got you. Yes, it would be. Yeah. So could I do a quick shout out real fast?
Yes. Oh, go ahead.
So just want to make sure that people out there know that you can find me on the business side of relationships. I'm on just about every platform. Not on just about, we're on every platform. Business side of relationships. This is Big Sarge. Definitely love this conversation with Lamore. Uncomfortable Truths. I'm locking that in, man. I mean, that's powerful. So, and I'm saying powerful because you actually have the energy to make me feel comfortable to come out and have these conversations. So appreciate the energy. We definitely have to do this again.
Yes. The platforms will be in the description too.
Okay. All right. Got it.
Thank you. Have a good day, sir. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Man. It's Big Sarge, man.